And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
When was the last time you remember a national leader challenging us to do a little bit more? That's the spirit of the book and the project.
What does patriotism mean to you?
For me, patriotism means making sure that I continue the ideals and the values of those freedom fighters or those founders of the countries.
Patriotism means dying for your country, being able to die for your country, or being able to live for your country. And that includes sometimes being critical of the government.
Most Americans are proud to be patriotic. But what does patriotism really call on us to do and be? That's what Liu and Nick Hanauer are asking in their new book, The True Patriot.
Both Eric and I have been super involved in politics and policy for a long time, and this project is the consequence of an incredible amount of frustration, both frustration with the debacle, which is the Bush administration, but equally, and perhaps even more, frustration with a lack of coherent response from the folks we consider our own, Democrats.
For too many of us, patriotism has become a cliché or a buzzword, or worse, the perceived property of one political party.
The very idea of patriotism has just been completely abused, been hijacked by a lot of folks in the far right who have just reduced the meaning of patriotism to this chest-thumping, jingoistic, militaristic, my country right or wrong worldview.
But in response, progressives have offered mere issue positions, fearing to enunciate their guiding principles.
It's very important to remember that people reason emotionally, not intellectually mostly. And unless we talk to them in terms of moral categories, unless we talk to them in terms of first principles, then we're actually not in the game for most people.
Ecuador, El Salvador, Germany, the Sudan.
It's time for a progressive vision of patriotism rooted in the core values of our nation's founders and its greatest leaders.
When you scrape away all of the accumulated cynicism and code words of modern politics, and you get back down to a foundational layer of what were the original animating beliefs and principles here, and you think about that, they all add up to an inherently progressive set of values and views.
Service and sacrifice for the common good. Stewardship of our resources instead of exploitation. Contribution over consumption. Equality of opportunity.
American exceptionalism, we believe, is dedication to a proposition that people are created equal. And our version of patriotism is tied, frankly, to that exceptional idealism.
One of the core elements of the true patriotism we're talking about is the simple idea of a fair shot. And the fact of the matter is that in this country today, the chances of getting a fair shot are more diminished and more pressured than they've ever been. The playing field is less level than it's ever been. Not only the accumulation of wealth and the polarization of wealth, but the ways in which the tax system and the form of taxation and government itself is being skewed by the wealthy to protect and defend and preserve that wealth, that is fundamentally un-American. It's not just bad public policy, it's un-American.
Patriotism demands a moral commitment to taking care of all we've been given and restoring it for future generations.
Our public schools, our roads, our bridges, it is our responsibility both to the people who built those things for us in the past and to those who will follow us in the future to take care of those things. And that's the sort of morality that we should be talking about.
Hereby declare on oath.
Many accents. Many hopes and stories.
It is so powerful when you hear the voices the accented voices and see the different faces of these people who are wanting to become American. We're both the sons of immigrants. They came here in pursuit of opportunity, and at every turn, as opportunities did begin to unfold, they instilled an ethic in me of, okay, what are you going to do to give back? What are you going to do to repay?
I simply cannot conceive of a moral system that isn't symmetrical in that way, that those who benefit most give most back, and in proportion to what they've gotten.
Being critical of our government leaders is as patriotic as waving the American flag. I congratulate you on becoming citizens of the United States of America.
If we believe in America, our politics should mean something more than pandering to greed and selfishness. The True Patriot will spark a new awakening of civic purpose, a new argument about what we owe one another, and a new chance to return to our best values.
One of the things that we did in the True Patriot was not only articulate our views the best way we knew how to, but really to anchor them throughout the text with excerpts from some of the writings and sayings of our founders. This book is not an end to itself. It is meant to be a little match, a catalyst to start conversation, reflection, and action. What we're in right now is a time where politics, at best, is third-rate entertainment. When nothing else is on, we'll watch some politics on TV, and we'll sit on the couch and we'll eat our chips. And I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you owe more to yourself, to your children, to the country, than to be a mere spectator.